Do you ever feel overwhelmed by endless thoughts, stressing about work deadlines, worrying about the future, or replaying past mistakes in your mind? Maybe you're constantly checking your phone, struggling to focus, or feeling like life is moving too fast. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos and forget to truly live in the moment. But what if there was a way to slow down, find clarity, and experience real peace? The Buddha taught that true happiness is not found in chasing external success or avoiding difficulties, is found in the present moment. And the key to unlocking this happiness is mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present, aware of where we are and what we are doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's happening around us. It allows us to experience life as it is, rather than through the lens of worry or distraction. Imagine this: you're drinking a cup of tea, but instead of enjoying its warmth and taste, your mind is busy thinking about emails, deadlines, or an argument from yesterday. You're physically present, but mentally absent. That's what happens when we live on autopilot. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." Mindfulness is the art of bringing your full attention to this moment, whether you're drinking tea, walking, or simply breathing. There was once a man who lived in a small village. He had recently lost his business due to a dishonest partner, and his wife had left him soon after. He was consumed by regret, blaming himself for trusting the wrong people and making poor decisions. Every night he lay awake, tormented by thoughts of the past and fears about the future. One day, feeling desperate, he heard that the Buddha was teaching nearby. With nothing left to lose, he decided to seek wisdom from the great teacher. When he finally arrived, he bowed before the Buddha and said, "Master, I am constantly filled with regret about my past, and I fear what the future holds. My mind is never at peace." The Buddha listened patiently and then picked up a stick, drawing 2 arrows in the sand. He turned to the man and asked, "If a hunter shoots an arrow at a traveler, what happens?" The man thought for a moment and said, "He will be hurt." The Buddha nodded. "Yes, that is the pain of life, the disappointments, the loss, the struggles. These are the first arrows. They are inevitable." Then, the Buddha continued, "Now imagine that same traveler, after being hit, begins to wail in despair. He screams, 'Why did this happen to me? This is so unfair. I will never be happy again.' He clutches at the wound, refusing to move forward." The Buddha looked at the man and asked, "Is this not like being struck by a second arrow?" The man nodded slowly. "This second arrow," the Buddha explained, "is our reaction to suffering. It is the pain we create for ourselves, our regrets, fears, and anxieties. The first arrow is out of our control, but the second arrow, that is a choice." The man was silent, deeply reflecting. He realized he had been carrying his wounds long after the arrows had already struck. "So, what should I do, Master?" the man finally asked. The Buddha smiled gently. "Practice mindfulness. When pain arises, acknowledge it, but do not let it consume you. See things as they are, without adding unnecessary suffering. Let go of the second arrow, and you will find peace." This ancient story holds a powerful lesson that is highly relevant today. Life will always bring difficulties. We will lose things we care about. We will face obstacles that seem unfair. These are the first arrows, the inevitable pains of life. But what truly makes us suffer is the way we respond to these pains. When we hold on to regret, replay past mistakes in our minds, or fear what the future holds, we are shooting ourselves with the second arrow. Think about a time when something bad happened to you. Maybe you failed an important test, lost a job opportunity, or had an argument with a loved one. The event itself was painful, but what happened afterward? Did you keep thinking about it over and over again? Did you blame yourself or wish things had happened differently? That is the second arrow, the suffering we create by resisting reality instead of accepting it. Imagine spilling coffee on your shirt right before an important meeting. The first arrow is the accident itself. It's already happened. The second arrow is getting frustrated, blaming yourself, and letting it ruin your whole day. But what if, instead, you took a deep breath, cleaned up, and carried on? The situation would still be inconvenient, but your peace of mind would remain intact. Or picture yourself getting rejected from a job you really wanted. The first arrow is the disappointment of not getting the job. The second arrow is thinking, I'm a failure, I'll never succeed. But what if you accepted the rejection as part of life and used it as motivation to keep improving? Mindfulness helps us break free from the cycle of unnecessary suffering. When we are aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can recognize when we are adding extra pain to a situation. Instead of getting lost in regret or anxiety, we can simply acknowledge our feelings, let them pass, and return to the present moment. Many people today struggle with anxiety, constantly worrying about things they cannot control. But if we take a step back and observe our thoughts without judgment, we can see that much of our suffering is self-imposed. It is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our attachment to how we think things should be. By practicing mindfulness, we can train ourselves to accept life as it unfolds, without resistance. Every time you catch yourself dwelling on a past mistake or worrying about the future, ask yourself, am I shooting the second arrow? If the answer is yes, take a deep breath and bring yourself back to the now. Mindfulness is not just a concept, it is a practice that can be cultivated every day. Here's how you can integrate mindfulness into your life. Start with your breath. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Notice the sensation of the air entering and leaving your lungs. This simple act grounds you in the present moment. Practice mindful walking. Instead of rushing from one place to another, slow down. Feel each step as it touches the ground. Observe your surroundings, listen to the sounds around you, and truly experience the act of walking. Eat mindfully. The next time you eat, put away distractions. Pay attention to the colors, textures, and flavors of your food. Chew slowly and truly enjoy the experience. Observe your thoughts. When you notice negative thoughts arising, don't judge them. Simply acknowledge them and let them pass. Like clouds moving across the sky, use mindfulness in daily tasks. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or drinking tea, focus fully on the activity. Feel the warmth of the water, the texture of the bristles, or the taste of the tea. Practice mindfulness consistently. Set aside at least 5 to 10 minutes each morning to be present with yourself. Use mindfulness as a reset button throughout the day, whether during a lunch break, before an important meeting, or in moments of stress. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. With time, mindfulness will transform the way you experience life, helping you embrace peace and joy in each moment. Mindfulness is a gift that allows us to live fully in each moment. By becoming aware of our reactions and choosing not to dwell on unnecessary suffering, we can transform our daily lives and find true happiness. Remember, happiness is not something we chase, it is something we find when we slow down and become present.